all of our history, I got to tell you, it is sketchy at best. And by sketchy, I mean you can take a history book and you can just sketch over the whole thing, because I'm pretty sure it's nonsense. Now that we're all snapping out of the Rockefeller BS, you know, all of it, the whole thing, everything that came from John D. Rockefeller's Board of Education, everything that came from his, you know, wanting us to be a nation of workers and not thinkers, everything that came after the orphan train, absolute nonsense. And if you don't know what I'm talking about right now, and you just think, oh, this guy's an idiot, what does he talk about? He has no proof, zero proof of anything, then my friends, you really need to start looking into some things. I'll give you a couple things to look into right now. The World's Fairs. First of all, we didn't build those buildings in Chicago in 2 years. It's impossible. I've talked to masons that do this for a living. I have plenty of licenses, home inspection license, real estate licenses. I have construction supervisor licenses. I could keep going on. I know how it works. I've talked to plenty of people in all of those lines of work, and they all say the same thing, that those buildings, for one thing, they can't build them today. They don't have the understanding of how they even accomplished it. They don't know how to do it. They don't have the technique. So as far as us getting better, as you know, evolution will tell us, we aren't, because they were able to do some absolutely ridiculous things back then with no power tools whatsoever, with horses and buggies. You need to look into the World's Fairs, and when I say Chicago World's Fair, there were over 20 World's Fairs, and they were all over the United States in the 1800s, over 20. The thing is, they didn't call them all World's Fairs. They were World's Expositions and the Cotton Exposition and all different names of things. So they changed up the name so that people wouldn't catch on, you know? Let me tell you though, from Boston to California, and everywhere in between, there was a World's Fair in the 1800s, and they all looked pretty much identical to the World's Fair in Chicago. The same buildings, the same statues, even in a lot of the places. So you really got to start asking yourself, first of all, there were places, and I've done the research, I put it on my website. You can find it on Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, you can find my website from there. But I have done plenty of research on population sizes in all those towns at that time. And I'm telling you right now, there were towns that had populations that were so minimal that there is absolutely no reason for them to have even done a fair like that in that location. Not to mention, there's no they didn't have the resources, the people, the tools, nothing. Then you start tying in orphan trains and all the weird stuff that happened in the 1800s with the orphan trains and with the mental asylums popping up left and right all of a sudden. So there's no need for mental asylums ever, right? But all of a sudden, in the and early 1900s, they were putting up thousands of them in every country all around the world. And then after that, we get an orphan train situation where all of these children are going to these beautiful places all over the world and America and being dropped off in these places. It seems to me like maybe our history is not quite what they told us. Maybe there were some wars in there that we weren't told about. And the wars that they told us about are absolute nonsense. So imagine this. Imagine if they made stuff up, and then the people that were really smart were the people that knew all of the fake stuff. So they were the smartest people in society, right? So imagine if we could set it up like that, so that when the people that aren't as smart at remembering that nonsense, maybe they didn't want to learn it or something, because maybe they had a gut feeling that it was absolute nonsense to begin with, our whole entire history. Maybe in school, a lot of people, maybe the people that don't pay attention really are the ones that instinctually know it's a lie. Ever think of that? But imagine this. Imagine if they set up the whole world so that the smartest people were the ones that remembered all the dumbest, fakest information. And then the people that didn't want to learn that and actually went and learned how it works in another way, like not the mainstream way, because there's always two ways to skin a cat, you know what I'm saying? So imagine if those people then, they learned the truth. Imagine what if no one would care, because they weren't the smartest people to begin with. They didn't go to Harvard. They didn't do all that. Imagine that. Imagine if they could do that. That would be weird. You know what else is crazy too? Like, people talk about NASA, right? How would they do it? They're not fake. How would they do it? It's a magic trick. Simple as that. You never seen a magic trick? You never seen David Copperfield, or you never seen any of these guys levitate or do anything? Do you really think they're doing that? You know, because I've been to some pretty amazing shows, and I've seen some tricks that blew my mind, you know. And I'm usually really, because I do a lot of those tricks. I do a lot of magic tricks too, card magic, coin magic, and I like I like the mental tricks, and I've put some tricks on here just to prove to you how easy it is to manipulate and brainwash people. Now use that, do that to the masses, and boom, there you go. Now you got a bunch of super intelligent people that know fake information and will defend it to their life's end because they've been indoctrinated and they truly believe. And I'm not knocking them. I'm not saying they're not smart. They're really, really smart people, a lot of these people that believe this. They just they married the idea of them being smart based on the knowledge of them knowing this information. So if you take that away from them, their insecurity will never allow them to feel that way. It's very, very basic psychology, you know. But the elites that control us, they understand that most people are instinctually very, very basic people at an emotional need, you know, emotional and mental. Our needs are very basic at the surface level, you know what I'm saying? And so when you learn that, you know, okay, I don't have to take it personal. I don't have to take it personal that I learned all these things and all these lies. That's not what my intelligence is based upon, right? It's not based that I got straight A's in school or whatever, you know. I went to Harvard and learned all this stuff. That's not what my intelligence is based on. Once you can humble yourself to that idea and actually start learning the truth, you're just never going to learn. But they've been tricking us a while now, I would imagine. And people that don't realize how they did it, why they did it, I'm trying to explain it. Go through my videos. I debunk every single thing that they do in so many videos, it's not even funny. And then I teach people how they do it. Just like this video, I explain it outright. And I've been blocked and banned. This is my 5th account. Again, 5th account in, now it's like been 4 months, but. So, give me a break. It's so, once you know, you know. And I'm screaming it from the mountaintops, but I'll tell you what, I really pray people get it together and figure it out. Because we're living in an illusion right now. You know what I mean? And another thing too, I am so proud of other people for sticking their necks out like this and putting themselves on the line for this, because you know what? We're doing the right thing, and they don't like it. I'll tell you that. They do not like it. But don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of them anymore. You know, that's what I'm saying. I seriously contemplated saying, you know, and doing a lot of the stuff that I do, because if you get big enough, you know, they could just take you to Epstein Island, if you know what I'm talking about, you know? You get too big, you're gone. They'll burn you out. They will make you look like the biggest scumbag to ever walk the earth before you know, take care of yourself. Don't have to believe me. This is for your entertainment, obviously. And I love you all.